So let's talk about one of the single biggest decisions you're going to make for your business: choosing a digital marketing agency. Get it right, and boom, you're on a rocket ship to growth. But get it wrong? Oof, you're basically just setting a pile of money on fire. So today, we're going to dive into how you find that perfect partner for 2026.
And I mean, the stakes? They could not be higher. Let's just paint a picture here. On one hand, you've got the bad partner. That's where you end up with a torched budget, a brand that's taken a hit, and growth that's just dead in the water. But on the other side, a great partner? Well, that's your jet fuel. We're talking accelerated revenue, real brand authority, and a massive leg up on your competition. It's literally night and day.
So how do we get you to that great partner side of the equation? Well, we've got a roadmap for that. First, we'll talk about why this choice is so massive. Then we'll cover the homework you have to do first. After that, we'll dive into a super simple vetting framework, the 6 giant red flags you got to avoid. We'll break down pricing and contracts. And finally, we'll look at what the agency of 2026 actually looks like.
Okay, so let's start with why. Why is this decision so critical right now? It's because you're trying to find one perfect partner in a sea of, well, a $100 billion sea with over 50,000 agencies. It is so noisy out there. And the whole game has changed, you know? It's not about generalists anymore. It's all about specialists. And if you pick wrong, you're not just burning cash, you're actively falling behind your competition.
All right, listen up, because this is probably the most important part. Before you even open a single tab to Google digital marketing agencies, you've got to stop. The real work, the most critical work, starts inside your own 4 walls. You just can't find the right partner if you don't even know what you're looking for. The search has to begin by looking in the mirror. So I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to really think about it. What does winning actually look like for your business? And I don't mean vague stuff. Is it a 20% increase in revenue? Slashing your customer acquisition cost in half? Doubling your lead volume? If you can't put a number on it, I'm going to be blunt. You are not ready to hire an agency. Period.
This is basically your pre-flight checklist. You've got to nail down these answers. What are those target business outcomes we just talked about? What's a budget you can realistically work with? And here's the big one. What are your numbers right now? You need to know your customer acquisition cost, your CAC, and your customer lifetime value, your LTV. Seriously, having these numbers in your back pocket is the difference between a waste of time meeting and a truly productive conversation.
Okay, once you've got all that internal homework locked down, now you're ready to start the search. And that brings us to the vetting framework. Think of this as your playbook, a super simple 3-step process you can use to evaluate literally any agency out there. It really just boils down to these 3 things. Step 1, look at their marketing. I mean, are they even practicing what they preach? Step 2, analyze their actual work. Don't just glance at it. Really dig into 3 to 5 case studies that look a lot like your business. And finally, step 3, the one everyone skips. Actually talk to their clients. You want the real story from people who are working with them now and people who have in the past.
All right, now for my favorite part, spotting trouble before it even starts. Consider this your field guide to the biggest red flags in the agency world. These are the warning signs that should have you turning and running, not walking, in the other direction.
Red flag number 1, anybody who guarantees results. If they say, we guarantee you the number 1 spot on Google, or we guarantee you'll hit X in revenue, just hang up the phone. It's a huge red flag. Why? Because real marketing has way too many variables. Good agencies set realistic expectations. They don't sell you snake oil. Next up, red flag number 2 is all about transparency, or the lack of it. If they get weird when you ask for detailed reports, or if they won't give you access to your own data, or if they make excuses about you talking to their clients, you have to ask yourself, what are they hiding? A true partner has nothing to hide. They're an open book. Okay, this next one is a little more subtle, but it is so important. In your first conversation, are they immediately pitching their services, or are they asking you smart, tough questions about your business goals? If they don't seem interested in what you're trying to achieve, they're not a partner. They're just a salesperson trying to hit a quota. Look, it's 2026. You can't hire an agency that's stuck in the past. You need to be asking them about their tech stack. How are they using AI to make things better, faster, smarter? What's their game plan for first-party data now that third-party cookies are going away? If they give you blank stares or sound like they're reading from a 2020 playbook, well, they probably are. Ooh, and be careful of this one. The agency that brags about their giant team but gets all vague when you ask who specifically is going to be working on your account, you need to know, are you getting the A-team, or is your project going to get passed off to an intern, or even worse, quietly outsourced to someone you've never even heard of? You need clarity here. And the last red flag is simple. Just trust your gut. Seriously. If their answers feel fuzzy, if they talk in circles and use a bunch of jargon to avoid a straight answer, it's a bad sign. It usually means they either don't know what they're doing or something is just plain broken inside their company. All right, so you've dodged all the red flags, you've found a few promising candidates. Now it's time to talk about the brass tacks, money and contracts. Let's break this down so you can build a deal that's a win-win. Usually, you're going to run into three main pricing models. First, there's the retainer. That's a fixed monthly fee, and it's perfect for long-term stuff like SEO. Then you have project-based pricing, which is just a one-time fee for a specific thing, like building a new website. And then there's performance-based, which can be amazing. That's where they get paid based on the results they drive for you. Talk about skin in the game. So what about ROI? What kind of return on your investment should you actually be looking for? Well, this isn't a wild guess. There are real benchmarks. For something like paid ads, a good agency should be shooting for a 3 to 5 times return on ad spend. But check out email marketing. A great program can pull in a mind-blowing 40 to 50 times ROI. These are the kinds of concrete numbers you should be talking about from day one. Okay, and before you sign on that dotted line, please make sure your contract is solid. It absolutely has to have a crystal clear scope of work, the exact KPIs you're tracking, and how often they'll report to you. But here's the most important part. Make sure there is a 30 or 60-day termination clause. It's your escape hatch. It protects you if things go south. All right, let's bring it all home by looking to the future. Because let's be real, the kind of agency that got results a few years ago is not the same agency that's going to crush it for you in 2026. The landscape is changing fast, so here's what you need to look for.
Let's just get this out of the way right now. AI is not a buzzword anymore. It's not a nice to have. It is 100% table stakes. An agency in 2026 that doesn't have a deep, practical integration of AI is operating with one hand tied behind its back. If they can't clearly explain how AI makes their strategy, their targeting, and their creative better, they're already obsolete.
So what does this agency of the future actually look like? Well, it's built on these 4 pillars. First, industry specialization. Agencies that know your space inside and out can deliver 40 to 60% better ROI. That's huge. Second, a deep focus on your first-party data. It's not optional anymore. And you're going to see a lot more of those performance-based deals and cool hybrid teams where agency pros work side by side with your own people. This right here, this is the new playbook. Look, if you follow this framework, you take the guesswork out of it. You stop just hoping you'll stumble upon the right agency, and you start putting a system in place to ensure you find them. That perfect growth partner is out there. They are ready to go. The only real question is, are you ready to do the work to find them?